All right, good evening, everyone. I want to quickly do a run through on how I was able to connect Google Forms with Power Automate and invariably creating items and adding attachments to items in a SharePoint list. So here I have a test form already created. I just added a couple of, I mean, questions, just two, and then you have the file control, right? And once that is done, I went ahead to open the editor, click on the three dots, click on the editor. I have the script editor. I have the script already created. So for anyone just starting, you just have to rename whatever it's usually on titles. You just give it a name, and then I am creating. Writing out this function, right? And I'll just be explaining what I was doing here. So in this function, I am instantiating an empty object, and for responses refers to all um, questions that is not of file type. You're not uploading a file, so that will be what is your name, how old are you, and then file responses here would refer to responses that are of file type. Um, that will be the upload passport photograph. All right, and here I am then processing the values that I have in each of these variables. So for responses, I am looping through. It's going to be coming out as an array, looping through it, and then so key here would refer to the question itself. So this is how I was able to get out the question, and the value here will refer to the response that was given by the user. And then I'm just doing a question response pair and adding it to this all data object. For this file uploads, right, I will be looping through the array and then getting the responses. And there's a possibility that you could have more than one file per question uploaded, and then you're going to be looping through that question also. And whether it is one file that was uploaded or not, you're going to be looping through. It's going to be in an array, right? And then for each file ID, you have to set file permissions for it to be viewable by anyone with a link. That would enable PowerAutomate to be able to, get the file content, right? But before you're able to call this driver service, you have to give permissions in your app script with JSON, right? I basically got this online, so I got it online. Okay. Then back here, I'm setting the file name. File name here is just the question, upload passport photograph, right? And then I'm doing a question response pairing here, and then adding it to the all data object. So here I'm just logging the stuffs to see what I have in my console, right? And then I'm creating a post request here using the URL fetch app service, and I have my Power Automate URL already here, and then you have your options. You pass. I've passed my options. Um, Now back to Power Automate, right? I have this script, this flow already created. Uh, I'm using the trigger when a HTTP request is received. Okay, so for me to get this schema, what I had to do was to, run this 935, right? And I had to run this by actually submitting a form. Okay. So I don't want to run it again. I will just go to what I have here. My executions. Alright, so what I just did was to copy this where it has been stringified, and then go to my Power Automate, upload a sample, and just basically paste this and done. So it creates the schema for me, right? My method is post, doing a compose here just for me to see the body, just for debugging purpose. Okay, just for debugging purpose. And first of, you need to set that you can trigger the flow. It has to be anyone, right? Anyone. Okay. Now, um, I am doing an HTTP request here for me to be able to get the file content. And for me to be able to get the file content, I'm using the Google API service, right? And that required me creating an API key. So what I had to do was to go to Google Cloud Console. I'm not sure. Okay, I have it open here. So I had to go to Google Cloud Console, create a test project. I mean, here, from here, you can always do a new project, a create a test project. Then I went to credentials. I need an API key. So this is the API key I'm currently using. I'm just going to create another one. Go to create credentials, an API key, and okay, so an API key is already created. You can always copy it, but I did a couple of restrictions on this. I set the restricted the key to only access my Google Drive, right? And application, I didn't restrict it. Okay, and then save. So in your flow here, I'm writing an expression just to get the URL. The URL is of this format. Mm, so the URL is basically this URL, then up to files. I'm concatenating HTTPS slash Google API, blah blah blah. Then the trigger body is I'm getting, of course, I've gotten the name of the passport. I mean, the name of my field is um upload passport photograph, which is what is here. Upload passport photograph. Okay. So for your field, you'd know what you want to write. Then you have this alt media, then key. So this key here is your API key. That is what you're going to write. That's what you're going to put in here. You're going to replace that here. And then I need to get the file type. I need to know what type of file is being sent down. So I'm just going to copy this. Okay, so when I get the file type, well, by the way, when we run the flow, you're going to see how that works. And when I'm getting the file type, I'm having this content type and um, application slash PDF, and then I just need the PDF part. So I'm just slashing it here. I'm doing a split expression here. Okay, then I'm creating an item in my SharePoint list that has already been created here. I have my SharePoint list already created here, and okay, and then I'm putting in what is your name and this sugar body. So there's a possibility that maybe you added more fields and it's not part of the schema. So this what is your name was because it was part of the schema initially, and then so I was able to see it as part of the dynamic content. And if it's not part of the dynamic content, I just wrote an expression for this age. I didn't have it initially, so in my schema, so I just wrote an expression to get out um how old are you. All right. Now, once I'm done, I go ahead to add an attachment. Now, in this attachment, the ID, the file name is just something I came up with, passport dot, then the file extension. So let me just, so the passport, then dot, just the file extension that I got from compose file tab here. So index one. That is what I'm using here. Oops. Index one. Then um, for the content of the file, let me add a note here. Okay. I think I have to just put a space here. So for the content of the file, I'm having this basis 4 to binary, converting it to binary, and then putting in your content from your HTTP body. Okay, so that's it. That's basically it, right? And I'm just going to run a test and see how that works. Okay, I think I have a preview here. I mean, I have it already here. I'm going to be running. So I'm adding this passport photograph, and I'm going to be submitting this. So when this submits, how my app script runs. So like it's running right now. Okay, it's running. Okay, so it's completed. And in my flow, if I go to, let me just say this. So in my flow, it has run and it's successful. So I have this here. What is my name? How old are you? HTTP request is done. Then I've gotten my file type, image JPEG. What I'm interested in is JPEG, and I mean my item has been created, the record has been created, and attachment has been added. So I'm just going to open SharePoint list. Okay, yeah. All right. So this is the record I just created, and the attachment is here. So here it is. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that once you're done creating your trigger, I mean your script, you need to create a trigger, right? You need to create a trigger here, and I have a trigger already created. But then this is how you create a trigger. You just add a trigger, choose which function to run. I have only one function anyway, so it's just going to be get response. Choose which deployment should run, and from form, yes, from form, I mean your form, then the event type should be on form submit, and then you save, right? So that's what you're going to be doing. I would not be using this because I already have a trigger already. I don't want this running twice whenever a form is submitted, so I'll be deleting that. So if there are any questions, my DM is open. Thank you.